fuck crypto. I'm done. I lost my shirt. I'm going back to my normal life.
So this is CoffeeZilla talking to Hayden about the launch of Libra. So there's a lot of meme coin drama around Argentina, the president of Argentina, and there's a lot to unpack there. But we're going to talk about this because this could be a reason why Solana is down, at least temporarily. It's down 6.5%. And this could also be a reason why Ethereum is up. Are we seeing a shift here from Solana to Ethereum? We're going to talk about that. Plus, Ethereum is getting an immune system upgrade. And this is actually one of the projects that Mike and I are going to discuss today. One of the 3 early stage startups that is getting funding. We're going to talk about that as well. A lot to unpack here. I'm Mik. That's Mike. Let's get it started. Mike, how are you?
Good. What a weekend, man. What a weekend.
Okay, let's kind of paint the picture here. So over the weekend, the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, I believe is his name, essentially launched a meme coin, or his team launched a meme coin. And he even provided instructions on how to buy it. And then he takes down the tweet because the meme coin goes from like over 4 billion in market cap and then drops down to like 300 million. And essentially this was a rug pull. And he claims he doesn't know what happened. The team that he's working with, Kelsier Ventures, the founder is Hayden. He's kind of like...
Okay, let's clear that up. Hayden Davis, not Hayden Adams of Uniswap, right? I saw Hayden Adams. He was getting a lot of... People were just saying Hayden. And he was like, what is all this crap in my feed about Libra? He's got nothing to do with it. It's like, let's clarify which Hayden we're talking about here.
Can you imagine Uniswap launching this on Solana?
I saw a tweet that said, how come they didn't launch Libra on Uniswap? And people are just, oh God, it's just mass confusion without a last name or context around that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that clarification. Why don't you give us the scoop about what he is saying?
All right. So he basically said that he sniped this launch. Okay. And I believe I saw a clip where he said we wanted to snipe first so other snipers couldn't snipe. Okay. And he said it's okay to snipe, essentially. He's basically just absolutely admitting to all these essential crimes.
This is the clip that you're referring to, where CoffeeZilla.
Yeah,
you can see his expression, like, what in the world?
Right. So, they made over $110 million from providing the liquidity, and the token sales. And, he was saying things about how he's got a plan for reimbursing or whatever it might be. He said a whole bunch of things. He said he might contribute it to charity. I don't know. It sounded pretty not clear what he was going to do. And it just seemed like he was out of his depths. And obviously this got bigger than what he thought it would be. And he's got no idea, but he's essentially he admitted to a lot of crimes.
And is there any proof that he was in charge of the Melania launch as well?
There was links to that. But he said he admits to sniping Melania. So there were some, like, I think from Bubble Maps, their Twitter account showed that there were a lot of the similar wallet activity around both of these launches.
And when you say sniping, just to clarify for those that may not be familiar with the term, and honestly, I don't know if I'm fully familiar, is it basically you're aware of the launch before it happens? You essentially have access to those tokens before it launches to the public?
Yeah, essentially it's they're looking at these new launches and they're able to get in early and then sell later on when the price goes up.
Yeah, because I know that, is it Portnoy?
Yeah.
Portnoy came out, mentioned that Hayden sent him like over 65 or like 6.
It was 6 million, I think, tokens.
Yeah, or like 6.5 million, something like that. Some tokens in Libra. And he was just like, great, okay, I'll just talk to, I'll share with my community that, I technically, basically saying that he was an insider, and Hayden told him, whoa, you can't like say that publicly. It's like, wait a minute, I can't say that to my community. Like, I don't want these tokens. So he sent them back. So that was good on his part to kind of provide that integrity for the industry.
Kind of talking about, unexpected roles being played here, where Dave Portnoy is the guy who's, being very transparent. And yeah, look, he got 6.5 million tokens, and he was essentially getting paid to promote, which is, it happens, but you gotta divulge that information. And Hayden Davis did not want him to do that, which obviously is not kosher. So yeah, lots going on here. I mean, could we start at the top where we're talking about country presidents being associated with meme coins? Now we've got multiple ones, right? Starting with Trump, and then it was the Central African Republic last week, and then now Argentina. And like, what is okay? You can look at it two ways, right? And I think we try to take balanced takes on these things, right? One is like, all right, we have this maybe innovative method of capital formation and fundraising for countries that countries might be able to use. Let's to try to see the positive of it. But then you also just have these rug pulls, these grifts. This was launched under the guise of helping to fund Argentina's development. Hayden Davis was supposedly Milei's crypto advisor. Milei didn't really know what he was getting into, apparently. So eventually, he pulled that tweet, which kind of kicked off the dump of the token. Like, what's happening here? Like, politicians are launching meme coins without, obviously without knowing what the impact of these tokens are or will be. I'd argue that Trump probably and his team probably knows the most out of all these three launches. But even then, it was it seemed like maybe if not a hard rug pull, certainly a big dumping of the token shortly after it was launched. Yeah, it's nuts. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, the involvement with president of Argentina. I mean, he's in trouble. Like, he's in a lot of hot water right now.
Yeah, he's been charged with fraud. He's been charged with fraud. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do see the side where politicians shouldn't be, like, if you're in office, you shouldn't be allowed to launch tokens because you just have way too much power. But there's a part of me that says, look, these are meme coins. Anybody thinks that they have a high probability of getting rich off of meme coins? I mean, you're going to have to learn one way or another. I don't know one person that's in crypto, at least up to this point, that is up only. You tell me, Mike, when you got your first crypto, do you know anybody that just came in and right off the bat just became successful, never had a failure, never had a rug pull? I feel like these are just stepping stones for you to become aware of what is possible, good or bad. So
the people who I knew were up only, they bought Bitcoin, they bought Ethereum, they bought the tokens that were actually building real value. And it was earlier.
The Ethereum people will probably say, look, it's not up only for us. Just
maybe this is a few years ago, right? So maybe not right now. But yeah, I mean, these are absolutely, this is another thing we want to talk about is like, this is an insider's game, right? Like, one of the big things that came out of this was the KOLs, right? There were several KOLs that knew the launch was coming and were paid to promote the token, right? So Portnoy is a good side of the story where he said that I'm getting paid to promote this, I have to divulge that. He returned his tokens. Like, I don't know if you saw, like, Thread Guy basically admitted on his live stream that he knew that his Argentina coin was coming, and there are tons of rumors that that LA vape cabal, they're flying around, like, which KOLs were involved and in what capacity. And those are the only people who are up only on these meme coins. The ones who know early that they're getting that these meme coins are going to launch, they're getting paid to promote it, and then they dump on retail.
It's kind of like going to a casino and expecting to come out rich. I mean, does anybody really have that kind of expectation? I don't know anybody. I think anybody that goes in there, they expect that I'm just going to have a good time, have a few drinks and then walk out happy. That, I'm putting in money that I know is not going to be there by the end of the night. And I think that's just how you have to look at meme coins. Not just to downplay what's happening. What's that?
It's just the cost of entertainment, right?
It's the cost of entertainment. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think people think that way. I think people legitimately think, I'm going to buy this meme coin. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to get this 1000x. I'm going to time the market perfectly and I'm going to be rich. And that's what their goal is with meme coins. And they're
And they're
saying,
learning. Yeah, this is the best learning lesson because look, we as people that have been in this industry for years now, we can't reach everybody and tell them these are the risks. It's like being in a toxic relationship and telling somebody, hey, I think you should leave this person. They're not going to do that if you tell them. They will only leave once they realize it for themselves. So this is like one of those things where they just have to learn from experience. And unfortunately, it's a very costly lesson. So I don't want to downplay the risks. There's people out there that are losing their money that they saved up. I mean, it's some really bad stories out there, especially coming out of this Libra launch. So I don't want to downplay any of that, but this is the learning lesson, right? Some of the best lessons are the ones that will be with you forever. And unfortunately, this is one of those where I think it's going to sting for a while. I mean, if you look at what's happening to Solana, people are getting fed up. And maybe in some ways, this could be a good thing, right? If you are anti-meme coins, you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, I'm done with meme coins. I want to stick to something that is actually legitimate. Let me go over to Ethereum. I don't think there's going to be bad actors there because you have to pay $30, $40 for a transaction. It's just a lot more expensive. And so you're not dealing with as many bad actors there. And there's actually a project that we're going to discuss here today that is even helping that even more. So, I mean, this is kind of like putting Ethereum in a positive light. And meanwhile, people taking a little break from Solana right now. That's how I interpret everything that's happened with Libra.
It could be, right? Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to dig into here. One, all right, like a lot of people are saying, oh, Solana's got no culture. They're, all the volume is, based on these meme coins. What are Toli and Raj going to do about this, or Mert? And like, okay, I don't think it's Solana's fault. Okay, like Solana per se, right? It's, again, we talk about this all the time. You take the good with the bad with an open permissionless system, right? On one hand, you've got all these meme coins launching. On the other hand, you've got a lot of legitimate projects being built on Solana, Helium, Hive Mapper, Render, etc. And you can't. I don't know if you can. You can say Solana doesn't have great culture because it's so dependent on meme coins, but you can't really blame Solana like the chain because it's open and permissionless. You can vote with your money on whether or not this, the chain will outlast this, right? And you're kind of seeing people doing that with Sol being down. Last time I checked, it was like 10%, but maybe it came up a little bit, right? So you can certainly see that happening where the market is deciding. But I think just kind of blaming Solana leadership for this is pretty silly in my book. What do you think?
I agree. Unfortunately, I would love to have another debate on this, but I do agree with you, Mike, because when you look at the DEX volume, close to 50%, if not more, is coming from Solana. So if you were to compare New York City to, I don't know, Huntsville, Alabama, who's going to have a higher crime rate? I mean, you just have a lot more activity, more population, more people, more things that will present themselves for the positive or the negative in a city like New York, just because it's just a lot more populated. So why are we not using the same logic in this case when you have a network that has just a lot of tokens being launched and a lot more users than any other chain? And so naturally, you're going to have a lot more crime. We saw the same thing with Binance last cycle. Binance was the Ethereum killer, right? It was the chain that was EVM compatible, cheap transactions. Okay, just scammers all day long, right? No one's talking about Binance as being the scamming network anymore. Maybe because people are not really talking about Binance as a whole, although they are going through their all-time highs right now. But now Solana kind of has that label. I mean, who knows? Maybe the next one's going to be Sui. We'll find out. But to your point, Solana has so many good things happening on there, so many great builders, and it's this stuff that makes the news. But I think people will eventually come to a realization, or at least maybe we all hope so, that, okay, what's here beyond just the meme coins? So let's just pause on these meme coins because everyone's losing money. And these people that are losing money, they're not coming back to the meme coins. And so you have less and less people that are going to be trading these meme coins. So they're going to want to learn about the real stuff that's being built, if they're going to want to learn at all, right? That's what's going to happen. Either they're going to be fully out, or if they're going to stick around, they're going to look at the things that are actually bringing real utility to the space.
Right. And that's the risk, right? Like, I think, another point that you made was like, is this the end of the casino, the meme coin casino, whether that's on Sol or anywhere else? Yeah. And you can say that, yes, meme coins serve this purpose for onboarding, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of new users into crypto, but are they sticking around? And if they do, are they sticking around for the right reasons, right? Like, okay, you get someone who comes in here, loses money on meme coins. They can either go away. There's three paths. They can either say, fuck crypto, I'm done. I lost my shirt. I'm going back to my normal life. Two, they can come back and say, oh, I can make it back on another meme coin. Right? Probably just as bad as them leaving, because there's likely they're going to lose their shirt again, right? And then three, they can stick around but be like, all right, no more meme coins. Let me see what's some of the real products being built on Solana. What's the real product being built on Ethereum, on Bitcoin, on Avalanche, on Sui, or whatever other chain, and where can I use crypto in the real world, and then go down that rabbit hole, right? That's the user that you ideally want. And hopefully that happens. I don't have that high of a confidence on people sticking around in that manner, because like, even with, a lot of people compare these meme coins with the NFT craze on Ethereum a few years back, right? 2021. Yeah. Okay. Like, I guess you can make that comparison, but the better comparison are kind of the longer term meme coins, like Doge and Whiff, right? Where there was actually like a community that got built around them. And even though the values fluctuate, just like NFT values fluctuate, there's still communities around those assets. There are no communities around these pump.fund meme coins that have been coming on. There are very few communities that people are just coming in, losing, and leaving. So I think that's the big difference, where there was even though there's no utility around those other meme coins, there was still some kind of community and an intent to build around the community, which I don't see in these kind of new batch of
These, I would say, these events around meme coins, and then also some of these launches that are very like VC backed, very respectable, but sometimes those launches don't go as planned either. And so you're getting bad apples on both sides. So what is a retail investor to do with that kind of information? I think it forces us to rethink how we view crypto and not view it as a short-term investment, and look at it more of, okay, you've got your stocks, right? You've got the things that your chip players, and it's the same thing in crypto. And so I think this will ultimately force crypto to become more mature industry in the eyes of an investor. And so you are going to be looking at Bitcoin, even though it's at 100K. You are going to be looking at Ethereum, even though it hasn't moved. You are going to look at Solana eventually after this whole debacle. But if you're going to be looking down the market cap, and you will see Barachain, you will start to look at it once the price consolidates, right? So not financial advice, of course, but what I'm trying to say is, it's going to force us to start thinking long-term and not think about where can I make a quick buck? Because obviously when you are presented with those types of opportunities, you get burned.
Yeah, I hope so. And also I would love, and I think a lot of these, we alluded to it, a lot of the meme coins, they're predicated on the KOLs and their opinions. Like, people who are coming to the space to invest in meme coins, try to make that quick buck, we'll try to look for, this influential KOL who's got 1 million followers, what are they pushing out there? And I hope that dies a swift death. Okay. Like, I think we're seeing now, and I hope a lot of people see that, like, these KOLs are all insiders, and they're just there. They get the news early, they snipe or get paid in the token to promote it, and then they dump on retail. Right. So I hope that a lot of the new people new to this space are, look, influencers are going to pay and KOLs, they're going to play a role here, but choose your influencer wisely. Choose a builder who is espousing the ideals of crypto, as opposed to the ones shilling meme coins. Choose someone who studies the space and really understands the long-term vision of crypto. I think I hope this is going to be a lesson to a lot of people. It's going to be in more ways than one, but like blindly following KOLs is just going to get you wrecked. And I would just love to see that trend just die a swift death.
I remember really not too long ago, people were saying, you know what? This is the reason why I do invest in meme coins, because it's all about the community. It's fair launch. And what we're seeing now is you've got bad apples on both sides, right? It's not just VCs that are trying to dump on you. You've got people that are insiders that will dump on you just as much. So you really just have to do your due diligence and think more long-term and think, okay, what's a really good use case here? Like what we're getting ready to talk about right now. Every time we talk, Mike, you bring to me 3 projects that go through fundraising, and they have very strong utility behind what they're doing. Now, whether or not they'll succeed, we don't know, but it's always good to know this technology and understand where the industry is headed. And you're on the VC side. So I love this part of our show because I get to learn and we all get to learn from it. So let's start with KoalaPay. Tell me about them.
Yeah. So before we get started, KoalaPay, we can have this conversation later, but I want to just say, go against the VCs dumping on retail because obviously that is a sensitive topic that a lot of people that, kind of, I don't know if you want to say cause the meme coin run. Yeah, like you said, fair launches and all that kind of stuff. But, I think I think that, VCs play a role in this. We obviously play a role in this. And yes, there are some that are bad actors that indiscriminately dump on retail, but that is not an umbrella categorization thing. Just wanted to throw that in there, Mik. But anyway, KoalaPay.
Yeah, Mike, real quick, I just want to add to that. Absolutely. I agree with you. I got a ton of friends in the VC space in Web3, and I wouldn't be friends with them. I wouldn't be friends with you if I didn't think that they were actually doing good things. So there's definitely a lot more good apples than bad apples. It's just, unfortunately, it's the bad apples that make the media, and the same thing on the meme coin side. So you've got good people and you've got bad people all around, right? Crypto, not crypto, it doesn't matter. But as long as you do your own research and not get spoon-fed the information, you'll be okay. Right. You'll be okay.
That's the key, right? Like we always, DYOR is always it's kind of this meme, but I think just like the ability, kind of goes to this blind following of KOLs and influencers. Like if you can't think independently, I'm sorry, like you're not going to make it. So if you just copy trade other people, you're eventually going to get wrecked. So just being able to think independently is something I think a extremely valuable skill in and out of.
Right on to that, Mike.
All right. So KoalaPay. Okay. So using blockchain for good, right? So KoalaPay is an international aid management platform. They raised $3.5 million in a seed round led by Castle Island Ventures, participation with Lattice Fund and Factor Capital. So KoalaPay leverages smart contracts and stablecoins to kind of make international donation, humanitarian aid funding more streamlined, more transparent. And a lot of, this is a big problem because and I think it's a timely problem as well. You're talking about, essentially what's happening at USAID, who funds a lot of these developmental programs across the world, being cut down. And maybe one of the reasons why is because it's pretty opaque, right? Overall, and any humanitarian aid that goes anywhere is pretty opaque. So hopefully KoalaPay can kind of bring more transparency and really understand where the money's going and get that money and that aid to their destinations more quickly and more efficiently.
I remember last bull cycle, there were like all these meme coins, like charity meme coins. Remember all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly they were transparent. So hopefully, something like this will provide more transparency, not just in crypto, but obviously in the real world as well. So
yeah, and also it's taking advantage of the stablecoin trend, right? I think being able to use stablecoins is going to make things a lot more efficient, and you're going to see the adoption of stablecoins continue to grow.
Yep. All right. Second one on the list here is Plasma, which is a Bitcoin sidechain. Tell us about Plasma.
Yeah, a very specific Bitcoin sidechain for a very specific use case. So they raised 24 million in a round led by Framework Ventures, Peter Thiel, and Tether's Paolo Ardino also invested, and for good reason, because Plasma is designed solely to optimize Tether's USDT, the transfer of Tethers, right? Zero fee transfers, high scalability, and they're not offering any kind of additional features such as like NFT minting, trading, nothing like that. It is purpose built for Tether. And that's what I love. That's actually one of our kind of sub theses is purpose built protocols, where I think generalized L1s and L2s are great. People are still building them, that they're optimizing them. But I think moving forward, there's an amazing opportunity for builders to build specific use case infrastructure and applications that solve a specific problem. And Plasma is doing that. USDT is the highest market cap stablecoin in the world. And Plasma is building a chain to optimize the transfers and scalability of USDT.
I'm seeing a trend here. We've got 2 stablecoin plays so far, Mike, and that kind of speaks to where the government is right now from a regulatory perspective. We saw the press conference with David Sachs, and they appeared to have a strong emphasis on the stablecoin and bringing more clarity to stablecoin regulation. And I know stablecoins doesn't really sound exciting. It doesn't get people all jazzed up, but I believe that having more clarity on the stablecoins could be the catalyst for having the altcoin season that I know a lot of people in Web3 and crypto are desperately waiting for, right? Whether you're in the industry and you're building and you're just wanting more attention and excitement, or you're an investor and you're wanting your altcoin bags to pump. I think one of the keys is to have more stablecoins in the market, basically. And the only way to do that is to bring more clarity to the space. Any commentary on that?
Yeah, a couple of things. Yeah, I mean, stablecoins is the kind of the quintessential use case of crypto right now. And rightfully so, right? Like, I think a lot of times when I talk to people who don't understand crypto, they always say, I can't buy a coffee with Bitcoin. I can't pay, buy this in the real world with Ethereum or Sol. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. You can in some places, but like, that's not the primary use case for those cryptocurrencies, right? 95% of cryptocurrencies were not created to be a real world medium of exchange. They were created to be like a medium exchange, like within their own ecosystems. But stablecoins are that other, 5% that they're actually designed to be that medium of exchange, primarily because they are stable. They're pegged to usually fiat that everyone is very familiar with. So I think that's one thing that it just absolutely makes sense in terms of this real world adoption. And secondly, I think, the US in particular has a lot of times people think that stable coins are a threat to the US dollar, but that's quite the opposite, because if you look at the growth of USDC, there's 1-to-1 backed with the fiat dollar, with the US dollar. Tether owns a lot of US treasuries. A lot of these stable coins are backed by US assets. So, the US actually has a very good reason to be able to want to promote the use of stable coins around the world, because it actually strengthens the dollar. So, it's clear that the government is looking to support that.
This next one, Mike, is also very interesting. And we just got done talking about how Solana price went down, and could this be related to people leaving Solana, at least temporarily, and going to Ethereum? And now with this news around Ethereum boosting their quote unquote immune system, so to speak, and improving their security, it's almost speaking to those people that perhaps maybe got burned on Solana. So what's the scoop with Drozera here?
Yeah, pretty interesting. So Drozera brands themselves as the immune system for Ethereum. They raised $3.25 million, led by Greenfield Capital, with participations from Anagram, Arrington Capital, and others. So yeah, it's like it's a security automation layer, and it's designed to detect and mitigate exploits in real time. So if let's say you're a dApp developer, let's just say like a DEX or something like a Hyperliquid, right? And if you're a developer of those systems, you can use Drosera to kind of monitor your system for kind of any anomalies, and you can define emergency conditions, like if you see a specific liquidity pool getting drained like way faster than in the past, Drosera can kind of identify that and then be able to potentially like pause contracts or things along those lines. So it's really kind of this like alarm system for that identifies anomalies and helps you mitigate those situations.
Mike, we just gave our viewers 3 really interesting startups that are doing amazing things in this space. So for those that are panicking and worried about crypto and just have this bad taste in their mouth with Libra and everything else that's happening around meme coins, just take a, pause, shut down your computer for a day, or maybe a week, just relax a little bit and come back and learn something new. And if you want to continue learning, subscribe to the channel, like the video. And also I'm including a link to Mike's newsletter. So check out Deep Ventures. That's in the description as well. And let's just learn together. Let's learn together. Let's build together. Let's get this going. Come on.
Yeah. And look, at the risk of like sounding like a boomer, it's like, I know we talk a lot about this, long-term visions and all that kind of stuff. And look, I still think that like meme coins have a role in this, in our ecosystem. I think we've just like many things, just taken it way too far. So I hope there is there's kind of a flight back to the projects that are building, because it's got to be extremely frustrating for someone who's been, building apps, building utility, grinding for years, to like just be completely overshadowed by a meme coin craze. All the attention is there, and it's not good attention. So hopefully, I think, for the builder's sake, I hope that a lot of the new entrants will come in with a clear mind of not the sole purpose of making money, and, just supporting, real projects, building real products. And if you're going to call me a boomer for that, then fine. But that's what I'm going to keep espousing for the foreseeable future.
It's all good. Crypto boomers, new name for the podcast. There you go. Mike, thanks so much. That about does it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right. See you, everyone.